Okay, so today's shift is 4 hours 48 minutes. The changelog. I'm just gonna read it on the chat while the game is playing idle. So I improved marine waypoints, rewrote the formula, added move waypoints, and adjusted the defend waypoints. So basically, there will be always a waypoint for marines every 16 seconds. An offense, defense, or move. And I noted that it's funny how on NS2 Veil, when playing with bots, the main room shifted from Nano to West to Topo to Skylight, just like a pub game. Also, there seems to be bots. There seems to be fun with bots on Caged, always pointing to relevancy as well. I rewrote ResTowers Trust Gain to be every 8 seconds globally rather than per each individual tower on update. And players inside the airlock/main room earn a 4% press bonus if they so happen to be inside the airlock/main room while the press gain is active. Players inside the airlock/main room also earn their team more team resources. On each team resource gain, it now checks to see how many players are in the main room, compares that to team size, and it gives a trust bonus based on the percent of teammates in there compared to team size. Or at least this is how I intend to write this with Lua, and I'm hoping that it works this way. Just take a look at the Marine team resources. This entire time, they both have 1, but as you may or may not have noticed, the Marines' team resources have been quite more than the aliens because apparently the bots are working as a team more than the aliens. That could be to do with the automated waypoints that I have. But to continue the changelog, I also fixed lighting in the main room. I accidentally disabled it yesterday. I also intensified the lighting brightness from a random number between 4 to 8. And I adjusted the alien player model size shrink amount from 25% limit to 70% limit, requiring 80% or less health. Or at least I think it's this way. I added alien expanding marker in case there's no threat marker to place, and I added a need healing marker from main room for gorges to hopefully inspire them. So these waypoints are based on the main room calculation that I keep talking about, where the airlock spawns, where the press bonus and trust bonus and the waypoints are, and the lights change. That's something that I wrote, which is basically where all the action is happening, and that's defined by the average team origins of both teams mixed with priorities on players in combat, and being in combat is defined as either damaged or have damaged within the recent 4 or 8 seconds or so. So let's see the team resources here. 164. So these bots seem to be working better as a team than the aliens because they're apparently the marine bots are more always grouped together. So I think this will promote what am I trying to say? I think this will promote teamwork. I want to try to make things promote teamwork rather than stress or punish. So this is my update for June 15th, is it? Yeah, June 15th. See you on June 16th. But before I go, let's look at the Lua. I did a workaround for the Git is an airlock because I don't want to rely on network vars and I don't want to rely on update. So I just qualify Git is an airlock as searching for the airlock entity, and then just comparing the airlock name to the location name with who is in there, or with the request of who is in there. And it just compares the airlock name and the location name rather than relying on updates. I also tried adding a cinematic steam effect in the airlock, but I didn't get there. In a working state, I didn't get there. And I tried some other stuff. I don't know if anyone's interested, but I wrote some improvements for the team resource and player resources because I didn't like how let's see if I wrote a criticism file that disables the default harvester's OnUpdate tick calculation and replaced that with this timer. So if anyone wants to see how that goes, it's all right here. I rewrote this to make it nicer. So this you'll see right here is the trust amount is the team resource default amount plus the Marines and airlock, and the bonus here is defined Marines and airlock. Marines, this is the amount of Marines on the team. Count. So what I do is every person in the airlock, I add the count up, and the total is defined as count divided by total of Marines on the team times the bonus per. Please correct me if my math is off, but my intention is to get this at a 1 team resource bonus per teammate that is then calculated percentage-wise based on the amount of teammates in the airlock based on the amount of teammates altogether. So basically you have the automatic adjusting waypoints here if you want to see the formula for that. This is I spent a while determining the formula to get to where send the main room at. Actually, let me show you this. I did this today. I improved the Marine orders. If you see here, send Marine orders, I redid this today. First defines offense, defense, move, and then offense is defined as find Marine offense, so that goes up here. I did these local functions because it's more professional and easier to do it this way, and it's easy doing for me who, which, where rather than player, self, and all that. Who, which, where is just easier for me, I think. So find Marine move, actually offense is first. So find Marine offense. I don't want to get into this, but from there, if it finds a offense, it goes offense. Otherwise, it goes defense. Otherwise, it goes move. Before, it would just do offense or defense, and even the defense was too strict. So now you basically always have a waypoint every 16 seconds that tells you where you should go, because I noticed in pub games players are confused, along with myself, and everyone's yelling at each other. There's no communication, so why not have an AI that is non-biased, that judges where logically all the action is happening, and reward players with waypoints, and if they go to those waypoints, get the automatic player bonus and trust bonus for the resources. It all makes sense in my head. It's just hard to convert this to Lua than English. But what else did I do? I was going to go over how the main room is picked, but that's too juicy to go over. So let's go over this create alien marker I wrote from scratch today. So it finds the nearest combat entities for the threat marker. And from there, it says if the combat entity is in combat, then do the threat marker. Otherwise, if it's not in combat, do expanding marker. That way you can approach the situation differently. You'll know if you have to be cautious or sneaky. And this is for gorges. If the player has 70% or less health, then inside the airlock room, that when it's picked to be a main room, when it's barely just picked to be a main room, if someone's in there while it's picked and they have 70% or less health, then I'll give this healing marker. Which, trust me, when you're in the moment, it's like a split-second decision. So it really helps if you don't know where to go and you see that and you know to defend your teammate or there's an enemy there. So I think that about covers it for today. Let me just double check. I think that's about it. I don't want to open any other Lua files. Just about closing this 4 hour, 59-minute writing session. I'm gonna update the server. Come back tomorrow.